don't really have a question. I have a story, I guess, leading up to a question. I woke up really early one day, and I wanted to think of a trip I could go on. Something just cheap and easy and quick. And I'm like, I wonder what Abraham's doing. I want to see, what's going on there. And so I went on to the website and checked where the workshops were, and it was 3 weeks later. Today was going to be in Buffalo, an hour from where I live, and I'm pretty sure you haven't been in Buffalo for like a really, really long time. At least I haven't noticed. So immediately I was extremely ecstatic that you're going to be this close and this soon. And so I was just like, bye, like just get the ticket. And so that's basically just a short story how I got here. And so
an impulse, receiving mode, impulse, and not anything to write home about. Yeah. Not anything major. Don't write a book about it. It'll be boring.
I probably could.
Yes, but an impulse that led to something. And wasn't it satisfying when you woke up with the feeling and then got the next thought, then the next thought, and then found satisfaction? That was satisfying, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And looking back again also, I could just see the perfect timing of it all. Just the fact that I was just in that spot to think of it at that time. And anyway, so knowing that I was coming here, I'm like, oh God, I really want to be in the hot seat because, who doesn't?
That person over there doesn't want to. Getting ready to be 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 ready. And so apparently you're ready.
And so I'm thinking to myself, well, what am I going to ask? Like, I had no idea what I wanted to ask, and I had listened to your stuff for about 6 years now, and I feel like I know almost any response that you might give me to any question.
Because we only have one answer.
Yeah. And so literally I kept on thinking, like, what would I ask? And I figured, okay, well, just don't try and think too hard. Just let it be. Don't write anything down, bring it with you. You'll think of something in the moment.
You might even be in the receptive mode and receive a thought, which is what makes co-creation at its best.
Exactly, yes. And so I was even telling people before I came up here, I'm like, I just feel like I might go up there, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not going to stress anything. I'm not going to be the first one. I'm not even going to try.
Which is the perfect stance to live a perfect life, or a wonderful, good feeling life, because satisfied and eager for more. You just couldn't find a better emotional stance. Satisfied and eager. And not desperate.
No, I definitely wasn't trying to be desperate in any way. It was just, it would be fun. That was the kind of thought. It'd be fun to be up there, and again, hopefully a question comes to me. So now that I'm here, I still haven't been quite inspired to a thought, but...
The reason that we think this is such a good conversation to have is because when you're getting ready to be ready to be ready to be ready, it's satisfying, and the manifestation, in this case, the manifestation of being called and having this conversation, that's a fairly exhilarating manifestation. Yes. And the thing that we really want to say to you is that, as in the example of our friend who went on a walk with her friend in the woods like they do all the time, not a manifestation that's so exhilarating because it's sort of their pattern. Finding a diamond in the bushes is a pretty exhilarating experience. But you got to be on the walk in order to find the diamond. And if she hadn't been ready for that and ready for that and ready for that, it's the vibrational readiness that we're talking about. It's not you figuring out where the right place and the right time are. It's the right vibrational stance. And we are just saying to you, the right vibrational stance is one of happiness, one of satisfaction, which means you got to find some way to feel good anyway. And that's hard for most physical beings, because without these things that they want, over here is where things have manifested in our example, and this is where most people are looking, and this is what you're cataloging and pigeonholing and recognizing and showing to each other, and this is what you are spending most of your time thinking about. And in doing so, you're introducing enough resistance with what's there and what's not there that you're not in the receiving mode, so that you don't have good timing. So you sort of have to stumble on things, stumble on a diamond in the woods. It's all right to do that. It's all right to stumble on them, and that's really the way life yields to you. It's just you discovering whatever you're ready to discover. And so the factor here is not what you're discovering or when you're discovering, it's your readiness. It's your readiness. And your readiness is determined by your emotional state of being. If you are usually in a bad mood, you're not in the emotional state of being where you have very good timing about things. If you are defensive, you're not in an emotional state of being because your emotions indicate your vibrational mix. But if you are feeling optimistic, if you're feeling eager, that's why it's so nice. You fall in love and you've got this person that you're focused upon for a little while in positive ways before you get to know each other. And in that exhilaration, all kinds of things start lining up for you because you have an object of attention that is sort of holding you in the receptive mode. We just want to say to you, you have the ability to put yourself in the receptive mode, and you have the ability to milk it and stay there longer until before long you've flipped your vibrational mix. Then you're more ready for more things. And that's why you look at someone who's on one of those tracks and you say, you are so lucky. And often from your not tuned in perspective, you assign reason for their success. Oh, you inherited it. Or, oh, you were just lucky. You don't let yourself explain to yourself the real reason. And this is the real reason. You found some way to be in a receptive mode where you've got particularly good timing. And as you started noticing that you had particularly good timing, your timing got even better. So you rendezvous more frequently with more of the things that you do want. And then, of course, it gets easier and easier, doesn't it? It's not difficult if you're living a lovely life to focus upon the loveliness of your life. But you know, there are some people who are focusing really lovely lives in one aspect and they still complain about the stuff and before long, the loveliness just sort of dwindles away. They don't sustain it very long because you cannot focus in opposition to who you are and get what you're wanting. So we like that you had these thoughts in advance. We like that you received awareness of something. We like that the thought of something came to you and that it felt good. And we like that you managed the vibration of it enough that it came to a fruition. We think it's wonderful to be ready, to be ready, to be ready. And the things that are at your doorstep, the things that you are in the vicinity of receiving, it is so delicious for us to have awareness of what is in the process of unfolding for you. And you know, we stand in readiness, in sort of alert readiness, in pleasure of those points of timing when something explodes just a little further into your creative experience, because your creation is also our creation. And you know that exhilaration that you feel, that's our exhilaration that you are in the receiving mode of. When you feel that exhilaration, that's because we've got our eye on you, and that feeling that you're feeling is the feeling that we're feeling. And for those moments of elation and love and appreciation, we are bonded in singular vibrational frequency. That's what that is.